with 243,436 foreign students, 12% of total students. France ranked third in the world on receiving foreign students, behind the US and the UK. Currently in France, there are more than 6,000 Vietnamese students, not to mention the education system in the community of French-speaking countries includes Belgium, Canada, Switzerland, and many African countries. That means students studying French in Vietnam now have more options to approach international education with the expansions of the strong field of education in these countries. French-speaking countries community is a great option and opportunity for parents and students in choosing their study environment. Besides, with the support of the French educational institutions in Vietnam and the strong cohesion of the student community in the French-speaking countries, there are factors to promote educational exchanges between French-speaking countries and Vietnam. Hello everyone, and you're watching Sharing Vietnam on VTC 10 NetViet. Today our guest speaker is Mr. Olivier Garot, the Regional Director of AUF, the organization that helps support Vietnamese students who want to come and study in French-speaking universities. And now let's welcome him in order to know more about the opportunities for Vietnamese students to come to this country. Thank you, Mr. Olivier, so much for joining Sharing Vietnam today. So first of all, can you share with us the vision of AUF as the bridge for Vietnamese students to come to French-speaking university?
Merci d'abord de me poser toutes ces questions et de montrer votre intérêt pour l'Agence universitaire de la francophonie.
The orientation of our activities in the coming years is to support a French-speaking training space, particularly in the ASEAN region. Vietnam currently has the most training programs. In particular, we provide a whole training and support system for our students to become global scholars.
On a une offre de formation et un soutien aux étudiants pour qu'ils deviennent.
For undergraduate students, they will be studying French and majored in French and their mother tongue language. In this case, here is Vietnamese. Go to master's level, students take courses in English beside French majors. The goal is to have these international training programs allowing students to train at the same time 3 languages fluently, which are English, French, and their native language. It is the most important thing to us.
C'est-à-dire l'espace européen, mais aussi dans l'espace ASEAN.
In addition, we also support the development of French-speaking space in the region through activities such as dynamic contest gathers 500 French-speaking students in Asia-Pacific, French summer courses for students and faculty members from 10 different countries and regions.
Une dizaine de nationalités asiatiques à Da Nang, au Vietnam.
In conclusion, we support the development of the French-speaking space at universities and in the region.
Voilà, donc on soutient cet espace global de francophonie dans les universités de la région.
What are the fields of study that the Vietnamese students usually come and join when going to French-speaking countries?
Voilà, alors, ce que l'on peut dire, c'est dans cette région, ce qui est important en francophonie, c'est des domaines qui correspondent à la fois aux...
In this region, we provide support towards educational streams that are keys in both French-speaking community and meet the needs of the region.
Et il y a 4 grands domaines, donc tout ce qui est la santé. Et donc là-dedans, la formation aux médecins.
You can list 4 key areas, which are health, including pharmaceutical and psychology, social sciences and humanities, including laws and economics, engineering, construction, information technology, and finally, language.
Le génie civil, le patrimoine. Voilà. Et le quatrième domaine, c'est la langue française, bien sûr.
I understand that there is a growing number in Vietnamese students that coming to French-speaking countries. Obviously, there are many strengths and advantages in education as well as the living conditions of this country. So share with our viewers more about these.
Le français est une langue de culture scientifique, c'est-à-dire que si vous prenez un domaine comme les sciences juridiques,
Firstly, these countries have diverse training programs. In French-speaking countries, you can find training programs in almost every field varies.
Permet d'acquérir les notions.
Second, it is quality of training program recognized at the international level. For example, when you attend a medical degree in Belgium, then you can continue to study medicine anywhere else in the world. The quality of the degree is of international standard.
D'accéder à une culture scientifique qui s'est construite dans cette langue. Donc c'est vrai pour la médecine, c'est vrai pour
Thirdly, tuition in these countries is cheap and almost free. In conclusion, in the countries of the French-speaking community, you may attend any specialty you desire, with graduation in international certification and a low tuition rate.
Au monde aujourd'hui, et en tout cas, à ma connaissance, n'a pas d'équivalent.
And now in the next reportage, please take a closer look into the activities of AUF as well as the learning environment in French-speaking countries. French-speaking Universities Agency, AUF, is an association of the world's largest universities, bringing together higher education institutions and research institutes all over the world that have used French as the language of instructions and research. Currently, AUF has 72 member universities with 57 bilingual bachelor majors, with achieving 98% graduated in French BA majors find jobs after less than 1 year, and more than 20,000 training staff in Vietnam from AUF had held important positions, such as university lecturers, business managers. Since the establishment in Vietnam in 2002, AUF has awarded 4,180 international scholarships and 792 regional scholarships. Study in French-speaking countries become intrigued by the popularity of the French language, low-cost learning, huge scholarship opportunities, pleasant living environment, and most importantly, foreign students are benefited similarly to native students. Foreign students are subsidized with housing, social insurance, and the discount when using services and transportation. In addition, foreign students can have part-time job without a license, with the maximum time is 60% of annual working time, or 964 hours a year. Foreign students have a master degree or equivalent degree with a master degree. Graduate engineers or trade school in France can stay for another 6 months after graduation to find work and will be given a residential permit if employed. So what is your assessment on the capability of our Vietnamese students? What are some of the difficulties that our students have to encounter and have to overcome in order to best study in these countries?
ce que je sais à travers les collègues universitaires qui nous en parlent, c'est qu'ils sont très contents de recevoir des étudiants vietnamiens parce que...
Through comments from our fellow partner university lecturers, I found them to be very happy when receiving Vietnamese students, since in general, these students are quite skilled and trained.
Ce qui est sûr, c'est que ces filières étant très sélectives, les étudiants sont très entraînés.
We can say French-speaking countries have the most difficult training program in terms of recruiting and selecting legitimate candidates. The chosen candidates are those being selected extremely carefully. The Vietnamese students may have difficulty with language when not achieve sufficient language proficiency to study. It can be considered one barrier.
Parce qu'ils n'ont pas assez, ils n'ont pas atteint un niveau.
But they really are trying to learn and improve. That is the strength of the Vietnamese students. They are very determined and very serious in working and studying to strive relentlessly.
Eh ben, ils vont être très sérieux dans leurs études et ils vont apprendre et ils vont réussir.
And what are your advice for Vietnamese students in order to study in this country, as well as how could they prepare best before coming to study in French-speaking countries?
Alors, je vais aller peut-être un peu plus loin dans ma réponse.
I'd like to go a little further than your questions because we cannot recommend one student going to study abroad while they need to be well prepared by reading where they will be studying or prepare their language proficiency.
Et aujourd'hui, on a la chance dans le monde entier d'avoir accès à Internet et avoir accès à...
In this present, we are very lucky to have internet access everywhere to look for information, apply into self-training courses for the language. So we encourage students to take advantage of the internet to better prepare for their journey. Next, I advise the students when arriving into another country to enlist visits, sightseeing and immerse themselves in cultural activities like singing in French, making friends with the locals, because sometimes I see Vietnamese students tend to be very shy and quiet.
Pour se faire des amis francophones. Parce que, en fait, on voit qu'il y a parfois quelques études.
And it would be very unfortunate not to be able to explore the whole culture because language is the embodiment of the culture. With goals, I encourage you to make friends with a French guy and vice versa for male students as well. You have the chance to be at such a distant location. Take advantage of this time to reach out and mingle into that space.
Découvrez les pays dans lesquels vous allez.
Thank you, Mr. Olivier, so much for all the sharing today. And that's the end of Sharing Vietnam today. Thank you so much for watching us. Hope that this has portrayed for you the opportunities when coming and joining into the French-speaking community. Any questions and concern, please email at sharingvietnam@vtc.vn. Thank you and see you again.